Alrighty guys, we're back for Rakdos Reanimator, and this is a Final Fantasy Standard brew, and I'm Red Cat. Let's briefly go over the deck, then hop right into some Ranked. But first things first, we built this together over on the Twitch channel, and it's rotation proof as well. Nice. So what do we have in here? This is actually a Come Back Wrong deck list. It's a 3-mana sorcery. Destroy target creature. If a creature card is put into a graveyard this way, return it to the battlefield under your control. Sacrifice it at the beginning of your next end step. So if, of course, we want to target the opponent's creatures with this, bring back the creature, but if it doesn't have haste, we don't really get to do anything with it. Hopefully it has a good ETB or something, but that's why we have all 4 Enduring Courage in here to be able to give those creatures haste and get a nice swing with it. So, of course, Enduring Courage is whenever another creature you control enters, it gets +2/+0 and gains haste until end of turn. And then it also has that Enduring ability on the bottom that I'm not going to take the time to go over. We have the Fire Crystal in here as more ways to give our creatures haste. So it's a 4-mana legendary artifact. Red spells you cast cost 1 less to cast, which realistically is not why this is in here at all. It's in here for creatures you control have haste, but then also for 4 and double red, you can tap this, create a token that's a copy of target creature you control, sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. So what if we don't have any creatures to pop on the opponent's side of the board? Well, maybe we can pop some of our own creatures just to get some powerful ETBs. So we do have a lot of creatures here on the top end, like Trumpeting Carnosaur, for example. When it enters, you discover 5, and then also has a bottom ability that will come in handy pretty often. For 2 and a red, you discard it, 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker. That gets it ready in the graveyard to actually reanimate too, right? So, of course, we're reanimating with Zombify, all 4 of them making the cut. And we also have a Coiling Rebirth, too. Here's one we don't see very often. 5-mana sorcery, gift a card. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Then, if a gift was promised, and that creature isn't legendary, that's important, create a token that's a copy of that creature, except it's a 1/1. Nice. So, even if you're just looking at a Connoisseur, that's still pretty good, but pretty much anything with an ETB that you're bringing back as a 1/1 as well should be pretty darn good. So cards like Summon Primal Odin, a 6-mana, 5/3 enchantment creature saga knight. For the first chapter of the saga, destroy target creature and opponent controls. Nice. Now for chapter 2, this creature gains, whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, that player loses the game. That's kind of no joke, but honestly, we're probably doing so much damage anyways by the time we get Primal Odin out. We'll see how often that Chapter 2 actually comes into play. Chapter 3, draw 2 cards. Each player loses 2 life. Yeah, that should come in handy too, huh? Now we have a single Vein Ripper in here. This is a 6-mana, 6/5 flying ward. Sacrifice a creature. Whenever a creature dies, target opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life as well. Cool. We also have a Bahamut in here for the first 2 chapters of this saga. Destroy up to 1 target non-land permanent. For chapter 3, draw 2 cards. Chapter 4, win the game. I always make that joke. I gotta stop making that joke, right? Mega Flare is, this creature deals damage equal to the total mana value of other permanents you control to each opponent, which honestly in Reanimator could be a significant chunk of damage. More ways to reanimate. We actually do have push and pull, but we got to do some rearranging because you're going to use push very often for early removal. Other than that, if you pull pretty much anything out of the grave in here, it's going to be pretty darn good. Especially if you're pulling like a Terror of the Peaks out, as well as like a Vein Ripper or something. Yeah, Terror of the Peaks making the cut as a 2 of, not going to take the time to go over it. We actually have Ardyn, the Usurper, in here too. It's an 8-mana, 4/4 legendary creature. Demons you control have Menace, Lifelink, and Haste, and it has Star Scourge. At the beginning of combat on your turn, exile up to 1 target creature card from a graveyard. If you exiled a card this way, create a token that's a copy of that card, except it's a 5/5 black demon. That is pretty decent, huh? Okay, what else do we got? Over on the top end, we have to have more ways to put, not the top end, the front end. We have to have more ways to put the top end into the grave. I always get the 2 confused, guys. We got all 4 Bitter Triumphs to do that, and then Charming Scoundrel as well. And if you're not discarding a card with Scoundrel, you're probably pretty happy to just ramp off the Scoundrel, you know what I mean? And then the late game, it's not going to be unheard of to just drop some Wicked Rolls too to try to clean up the match. We also have a single Lonely Fear of Missing Out. Ought to do the thing nicely. Over in the mana base, we thought about the mana base for a while. All 4 Fabled Passage. We have a Restless Vents. We even have some Gorge in here. We have Raucous Theater. We have Blazemire Verge. We even have a Lindblum and a Midgar, City of Mako. Holy cow, what a mana base, huh? Now, over in the honorable mentions, we originally had Magnetic Hellkite in here. Massacre Worm could have been neat. Overlord of the Boiler Bilges, and I see something missing over here. Velgavoth also could have made the cut in the honorable mentions for sure, dude. We're just doing something a little different today, huh? Okay, I do my damnedest to save the more in-depth discussion for the end of the video, so look forward to that. In the meantime, let's go ahead, take this into some ranked, see how we do. All right, we'll see if we can get right into that first game. In the meantime, what am I expecting from the build? As far as Reanimator goes, I think this is actually pretty decent. Yeah, I think we're going to do good today. But we have been seeing a lot of different versions of Reanimation. So, there might be a lot of graveyard hate floating about. Ooh, are we going to find our mana on time? We go first. I'll risk it. And I'll risk it because we have the Surveil on the theater, and hopefully we Surveil land on top. I don't like that we're deck thinning right away, though. Uh-oh. Do I keep this? Uh-oh. It might be our only removal if we miss our third. No, we're fine. We're totally fine, guys. I've never been punished a single time by keeping a two mana hand, right? Never? Not a single time? We might actually not want to thin the deck list on Fable, guys. We won't have our third turn, but we don't need it since it's just come back wrong. I'm not gonna deck thin yet. Uh-oh. 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 I'm scared. How much mana do I have in here? I think it's 25. Unholy Annex. Oh, dear. Alright. Yeah. Since our turn 3 looks like removal, and there's nothing to remove anyways, especially since the only instant speed would be the Carnosaur, I'm just not going to pop the Fable. Hey, we're totally fine. Hey, there we go. All right. Yeah, now we can pop the Fable. And hopefully we can get Enduring Courage down before the comeback wrong, but I'm pretty sure we're going to have to pop a Demon. Oh, Deep Cavern Bat. Oh, I wonder what they take here, actually. Yeah, that would have been great to keep the Bitter Triumph, but only if I already had the third mana in hand, right? Hitting one of the comeback wrongs doesn't really do much for them, because we could just play the other one on the bat, then get the other one back, but I guess that'd still be pretty good for them, since that's the only card I can play. Carnosaur's a similar concept, though. I guess that would be a great way to get Carnosaur to the grave. Of course, I'd rather zombify the Ardyn. But I'd rather do all that once we can give him haste with the courage. We're a little behind here, guys. We're a little behind, but we only missed mana for one turn, so... Oh, nice opponent. Okay, now that they're tapped out, we can do Fable. And we're going to grab a Swamp. It doesn't really matter since we have double dual land on the board for everything in hand. So, probably Carnosaur? I have no idea. Okay, they're going to take the Zombify. Okay, splitting it like that, that makes sense. I like that opponent. That definitely makes sense. So for the turn, we can do Lindblum Adventure, then just play it as a land and wait for the Enduring Courage next turn. Letting them keep a couple of Deep Cavern Bats isn't that big of a deal, is it? Unless they play 2 more Deep Cavern Bats next turn. That could be pretty bad, actually. Now, we could also just skip the adventure. Carnosaur at instant speed. I apologize, opponent. For some reason, I'm already dazed and confused. Let's just go value. Yeah, let's let them keep the couple bats. I'm not worried about it. We're going to try to establish Enduring Courage. There's not a lot of ways for Mono Black to exile Enduring Courage. They're going to flip the Ritual Chamber. Nice. That's a good one. Oh, Bitter Triumph. Beautiful. They got 8 in the air. We're on a 2-turn clock if I'm not careful. We got to be very careful. Very careful. So the discard's the Ardyn for sure. Pop the demon, but not playing anything else for the turn feels really bad. Also going to take another 2 from Unholy Annex. Yeah, not doing anything for the turn's rough. I'm going to get the Enduring Courage down. I'm going to risk it all, guys. All right, no attacks. I'm scared, bro. I'm scared. Now, if we already had Zombify in hand, which was a great grab for the opponent, by the way, that Deep Cavern Bat picking Zombify was incredible. Yeah, I hope it's not a 3rd Unholy Annex because, wow. That would be bad news, huh? That'd be, what, 14 damage this turn. Go for the throat, so Courage comes back. Like I said, Mono Black doesn't have a lot of ways to exile the Courage. Okay, down to 8. With double... Oh, they still had removal available. Double Annex bringing us down to 4. I guess no matter what, if they find a demon, we're dead. So how do we want to do this? A little bit of life gain on a Deep Cavern Bat from the Comeback Wrong. And still have the Bitter Triumph to pop. Bitter Triumph. We'll do it while they're tapped out too. I don't think we'd necessarily want to do this at instant speed. No matter what, they can power up the Sanctuary if they miss a demon in hand. And Sanctuary can actually swing too, so be very careful. But at the same time, how do we... Ow. With double Annex on the board, I guess we're pretty much dead no matter what, right? I think so. Let's see what's in their hand, too. This is pretty cool, though. Wow. Triple Shieldred. They dropped the GG. I guess we could take the Anoint with Affliction, because no matter what, they have a Shieldred play, but it's not even the play next turn anyways. It's just a Soulstone. Soulstone power-up, swing for 4, lose 3 on the Annex. Yeah. Good game, for sure. Wait a minute. That's not what we drop nowadays. This is what we drop nowadays. Are we doomed? Pretty sure we're doomed. They power up. Oh, guys. They didn't power up Sanctuary. Oh, they're going to take the Zombify, though. Oh, Coiling Rebirth they're looking at, too. Coiling Rebirth, either one brings back the Ardyn, but we don't have anything else in the grave to bring back. We can only really bring back the Deep Cavern Bat. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they missed lethal here by not swinging with this Sanctuary. Unless I'm missing something. Yeah, because we were tapped out too, so. Alright, well. We had more mana this game. I think honestly, it could have looked a little different. And it's nice that the opponent gave us 1 extra turn here to try to figure something out. But, yeah, Deep Cavern Bat. Also gets haste. Well, Liliana's the grab, but we're going to swing with the bat for the sake of, well, we could pop the Ardyn. Yeah, double removal in their hand makes it a pretty difficult grab here. Menace gets the bat through, so I guess it doesn't trade. So I guess the better choice, I guess it's Liliana. I don't really know, because we don't want to sacrifice Ardyn by any means. Maybe they even trade. We go back up to 9. The trade could be good. They still have the power up, though. Anoint pops the bat, then they just play the Liliana, then they pop the Ardyn anyways. I guess we full swing. Yeah, it's a difficult... Wow, we push it through. Still, similar concept for the turn. Maybe it should have been Anoint under the bat, so that way Liliana we could have just sacrificed the Ardyn, right? Instead of losing both of them. Yeah, I should have grabbed the Anoint, because then we could have just sacrificed Ardyn. So I got a little dazed and confused there. We could have kept a bat on the board, essentially, right? All right, GG opponent, GG. And there's a reason why they didn't block too, since Unholy Annex was going to be able to get them there. That was probably my fault, probably, right? Because if I would have mulliganed, maybe we could have found a little bit of a faster hand. If we would have found more mana throughout the game, maybe. Yeah, maybe. I don't really know. And then we got lucky having an extra turn to play out too. At the end there. Oh, hello. Hello, hand. All we need is ways to reanimate. Charming Scoundrel, we might as well keep it. We might as well keep it, right? Because we can always just go treasures on it. Okay, swinging with the Restless Lackey. Based on the hand, I'm pretty sure we do go treasures. I don't plan on blocking yet. I'm going to swing. Just poke that extra damage through. Okay, Seer Slicer Goblin. That's pretty good. Fabled Passage number 2 is not terrible. Definitely want Bitter Triumph on the Goblin. Pretty sure we can do that on their turn, just in case they play a 3-mana Goblin that we really want to hit. We can go second Scoundrel for treasure, but I don't want to pop treasures for the Bitter. I'm just going to pop Fabled Passage right here, right now, guys, so we're not holding up their turn, and we can grab a Swamp. Okie dokies. Now we have terrific blocks with Scoundrel, so we save it back. Either way, yeah, we want to be prepared to have to block, even if we are popping Seer Slicer in combat. Of course, we can save the Triumph if they do swing with the Goblin. Another Restless Lackey, okay. So some mono red goblins so far. Another Seer Slicer. Oh dear, guys. Okay. Okay. So they are going to hold back both Seer Slicer goblins. Yep, makes sense to me. I guess we should accept the trade into the 1/1, take the 2. And since they're tapped out and everything, we can do this now. Ardyn to the grave. We probably won't have time to get to 8 mana. And 6 mana Primal Odin. Way more realistic here. Ooh. Okay. Okay, guys. We don't really need more mana. We want to do some deck thinning with the other Fabled Passage over the Verge for sure. Grab a mountain. Mountain comes down. Scoundrel. Come on down, Scoundrel. And we want to probably Wicked Roll so we can actually block the 1s. But if they find something to pop our treasure, I really doubt it. But you never know. They could have a Braid in there or something. I'm going to not go treasure. I think it really depends what you're up against, guys. It really does. We're going to try for a better block on the Scoundrel. And hopefully Odin can take care of their big bad goblins. They go for the full swing. I take that trade all day, but something tells me it might not be a trade. Let's see what happens. Okay, that's not terrible for us. What target are we going to have on Odin? Another Seer Slicer Goblin. Holy cow, dude. Okay, triple Seer Slicer. That's pretty good stuff. Oh, a pool. Ooh. I think we're going to hold on to that for when it comes time to bring Odin back from the grave. Yeah, they got plenty of chump blockers. They don't have to worry about the second ability on Odin. But this is still what we do, right? It's still a 5/3. third Seer Slicer Goblin out of the equation, and eventually we'll bring it back with Pool, hopefully, as long as we don't have to use it for push. Frenzied Goblin number 2. They're going to get one of these through. Frenzied Goblin. Oh. It's target creature can't block this turn. Not target creature can't be blocked this turn. Okay, they're getting all of it through then. Okay, that's a big problem then. We do find 6th mana. We don't want to forget we can pull 2 Seer Slicers back too. We don't have to swing with these. We could swing with Odin. They chump. We get 2 1/1s to block. Ardyn before. I kind of wish Odin was already in the grave. Being at 10. I apologize, opponent. I'm thinking, buddy, wow, we got decisions to make. Now, I mean, number 1, we play the 6th mana, but do we wait for Odin to die to do the pool? And then when we want to pool Ardyn, and then at the beginning of combat, get the Odin, right? But how do we survive? We might not survive next turn. They could easily win. Okay. Okay, guys. I think there's a great chance that we end up dying next turn. So we're going to pool now. And we'll go ahead and draw here, because we don't need the treasure. We don't need the wicked roll. Coiling Rebirth is pretty good. And then we can grab one of the Seer Slicer Goblins. And that's a 5/5 with Menace. That gains us a little bit of life. Have a great swing here. I guess a great full swing, because the Ardyn and the Charming Scoundrel are going to die anyways. Go back up to 15. Now if they boost their board state wide, they'd have to boost it twice, which I would say is pretty unlikely based on them only having 3 mana. Unless they have a way to boost everything by 2 power, and then we die next turn anyways. In which case I should have kept Primal Odin as a blocker. Okay, that's good. That's good stuff, man. Triple block into the Odin, so that way we don't get the ability next turn. With Coiling Rebirth in hand, so Pool sacrifices them, and we get the chump blocker back up to 15 thanks to the Ardyn. And then, yeah, Coiling Rebirth can bring back 2 Odins, or we can bring back Ardyn and not gift them a card. Now they don't have mana for the Frenzied, so we do have a block into one of the Frenzied. They do go for the full swing. Based on Seer Slicer being a demon, we could just take the damage. We have 6 on the board. We just bring back a Charming Scoundrel, right? Yeah. I guess that's what we end up doing. Actually bring back 2 Charming Scoundrels with the Coiling Rebirth, right? Ooh, Trumpeting Carnosaur is pretty good too. Yeah, they're tapped out, so we can actually just bring back Charming Scoundrel and go Wicked Roll. Pretty good. Not terrible, guys. Good game, opponent. I'm glad I took the time to think it through, but boy, those were some really tough decisions. Do you guys agree? A lot of options there. Pretty scary when the opponents are going wide and we don't have any board wipes, for real. It is pretty scary. Let's keep the ball rolling while I have you here in the middle of the video. Make sure you check out that description where we do have that Discord link, as well as that Patreon link too, if you're interested in joining either of those up or supporting the channel that way. And then also, guys, the YouTube side of things. If you like the video, make sure you actually drop it a like. And if you enjoy the channel, then consider subscribing, because it really does help out the channel. So thank you. Oh dear. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, Red, don't do it. No. Oh no. We should mulligan. Okay, I'm keeping it. We're gonna try it. Let's see. Look, man, we gotta test the deck list to its absolute limits, right? You get out of my hand, opponent, you monster. They take one of the Zombifies. Yes, that makes a lot of sense. All right, Surveil on the Theater is going to be pretty important. Yes, okay. Anything that's not more mana, we keep. And trade out some of that mana too. Deep Hammerbat takes the second Zombify, I can imagine. The opponent's been up against as much Reanimator as I have recently. It would be really weird if they didn't take the Zombify, you know? I should probably keep Restless Vents in this matchup. And that could come down next turn. We can trade out the Swamp quite successfully here. And still thin with the Fabled Passage too. Alright, come back wrong. Oh, Deep Caverbat number 2. That's actually pretty brutal. I think they want to, yeah, they want to take the comeback wrong, but I understand why they were thinking about both of them there. But yeah, that's the only thing we could have done next turn, but they were looking at the mana. They knew that we didn't have the third untapped yet unless we saw it off the top. That makes sense that they were thinking between the two. And we actually do find the untapped mana here. Instead of Restless Vents, I'm tempted to go Fabled Passage to thin the deck list because this is way too much mana. But overall, okay, they do find a cut down. Okay, well, we're fine. Everything's fine. Oh, crap, dude. Oh, crap. I only have mana in hand. So it's either discard the 2 lands or the Fire Crystal. Alright, I guess it's Fire Crystal. We really don't want to lose the mana now. Restless Vents might be our only hope here. We might actually power it up next turn too. So they swing, they go up to 23. We go down to 17. Zombify. Not the greatest yet, but that's a good draw. Fabled Passage, thin the deck list, grab a Swamp. Power up Vents, trade out the Verge, find some top end, right? We're in this, dude. This is definitely still anyone's game. It's more mana. Uh-oh. Alright, well, we know what we're trading out next turn unless we find some top end. We might not be able to power up Vents if they keep open swamps, though. If it's another Bandit's Talent, losing the Zombify is brutal here. But if it's just more generic discard, then we can get rid of the... Oh, it's a Duress. Alright, well... Third Zombify out of the equation for the opponent until we pop this bat. We go down to 13 here. Charming Scoundrel is pretty good. I'd probably start with that over the Vents, right? Actually having a creature established, still trade out the Mountain, or just play the Mountain, play the Scoundrel, and draw. Because at that point, we'd have 3 mana open if we see one of our removal spells, like a Comeback Wrong, too. Bahamut. Alright, well, you can go to the grave. Well, I guess we might have a better chance of actually getting to 9 mana. I guess we swing, because we can't block in the air. Yeah, with 3 Zombifies gone, guys, there's only 1 Zombify remaining. Well, push and pull, we're only 1 mana from that. And 1 Coiling Rebirth we have enough for. Coiling Rebirth on a Bahamut would be crazy business. Looks like we're not going to get lucky here and discard the Bahamut, though. But then, even if we do discard it, we have to get really lucky and find one of the other reanimation pieces, too. Down to 9. Down to 7. More mana off the top. It's a Gorge. And power up Vents, it has Menace. Trade Bahamut into the grave. Charming Scoundrel chumps the Sheoldred. Bahamut to the grave. Primal Odin. Oh, Sheoldred punishes us for existing, though. At the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, if that player has 1 or fewer cards. So we could keep 2. Chump on the ground, 2 in the air. Then 2 from Sheoldred, that's 4. If we get to keep the chump on the Scoundrel. So we don't want to play the Razor Verge. Or, I'm sorry, Razortrap Gorge. But that would get us 1 step closer to Odin, but then we would die to the Bandit's Talent and the Sheoldred. So hopefully I mean, it doesn't really matter. If we see more mana off the top, it feels like it's punishing us, but it actually isn't because we would die if we didn't keep both in hand. Ah, Bloodletter. Okay, that also does it, huh? That also could have just been removal for Scoundrel, so. All right, we draw. It's a Lindblum. Haha! I instant speed. My trap card. Ow, my face. Shieldred. Get out of my standard, Shieldred. No, I'm just teasing Shieldred. Shieldred's not even that bad anymore, guys. But that is one card I guess I'm not going to miss once rotation happens, huh? It is that concept of, you know, punishing you for playing. But overall, I'm still more excited for Cutdown to rotate. Cutdown has been an absolute menace to all of my playstyle since it has arrived, so. Opponent goes first. All right, early removal. Good chunky creatures. Now here's the problem right now. And we saw this when we played this deck list on stream too. And sometimes it's hard to get all of your pieces to align. So the deck list has to still operate without its pieces being lined up. Okay, Zombify, nice. So here we go. Now we have all the pieces. We have a way to get our top end to the grave. We have a way to bring back the top end. And we have the top end too, right? 3 pieces for Reanimator. I feel like that's why we're seeing a lot of Yuna. I think that the Yuna deck lists really do that quite well. If they're missing Yuna, the deck list still has a lot of power, and it really, like, there's different ways to put Yuna together. We're seeing Naya and Abzan the most. All right, well, push and pull, we're pretty far from. We might as well use it as some removal on the conscript while we have it. We're pretty far from the pool, guys. And if they're going to go 3 mana, boost all their Skelly Bellies, that would be an extra 3 damage for the turn. We could keep Bitter Triumph open instead to pop a different Skelly Belly, but it's going to have a similar concept. What's nice about Cult Conscript in Skeletons is it's going to be pretty hard to bring back too, so. Corpses of the Lost, so it's like a similar concept here, right? It all would have been 3. Coiling Rebirth. All right. Now this time we definitely keep open instant speed removal, but we're looking at the Carnosaur, I would say, and we're hoping for the 4th mana off the top. Okay, a second Corpses of the Lost would be devastating. Let's see what the opponent finds. Wait a minute. Okay, never mind. Trumpeting Carnosaur bottom ability is pretty hard to counterspell, so that is definitely going to be what we're playing here. Some tough uphill battles for this one, huh? I'm thinking, oh, Mockingbird. Hey, do I have the nice deck? Nice deck, opponent. I really like this. Let's see. So they go X is 0 to copy the skeleton, and it has flying. So I guess that's the much better target. But this one also has menace too. I don't know. The menace could be equally as bad. We do have flyers in here is the thing. If we hit this skeleton, they'll solve the case too. Still got 2 cards in hand. Hey, when this dies, since it's a skeleton bird pirate, how does this read? Activate only if a non-skeleton. So it still reads skeleton. So luckily, they won't get the conscript back from the grave this turn. Corrupted Conviction. A great way to deal with that while restocking their hand, and now they can restock the board too. Wow. They might as well just take this action, honestly. They don't. Come back wrong. All right. Only being able to pick up tokens is not the greatest with come back wrong, so it's much better to go Bitter Triumph for the turn. Of course, Untap Source is really desperately what we need to survive here. But no matter what, the opponent wins if they find one skeleton that can actually swing in. Which they must have since they did not bounce the Corpses of the Lost, right? Alright, guys, I think I think I'm going to try to get one more game in, but I should double check how much mana we have in here because the mana's really been back and forth. Oh, it's going to be another Corpses of the Lost anyways. Now, realistically, there's no guarantee that we could have survived. Had we seen the fourth for Zombify, Carnosaur would have had to hit a creature, and the creature would have had to been an incredible chump blocker as well. We'll hit the Menacing Skelly Belly this time, and we'll ditch the Terror of the Peaks since we are furthest from that. Are we doomed? I say at -2. Are we doomed should have been last turn, right? For sure. Skeletons, that's pretty fun. Skeletons might be in a great position now after bans. What do you guys think? Maybe. Let's take a look at the deck list here. Let me double check the amount of mana. Okay, 25. Yeah, I don't think we want 26. I don't think we do. Let's push it a little over time here, guys. Let's go one more match. We'll see if we can actually pull off the whole Reanimator side of things and do it in a cool manner, too. Try to end on a high note. Good stuff, right? I like this. Early trading out with Scoundrel. Help us right into our Zombifies and whatnot, too. We could do early deck thinning with Fable. I think we just get Lindblum down and not worry about Fable. Because there's definitely a great chance of seeing our third before. And then Fable will just be untapped. Yeah, there we go. Raucous Theater. Well, there's our actual turn 1 then. Blazemire Verge. Are we going to be forced to ramp into Odin? Do we need this? I'm going to keep it. Based on the last game, though, I don't know if we want to base things on the last game. So far, Scout and Scamp, that should be pretty scary. Alright, we're going to trade Ardyn to the grave and get ready. Keep Scoundrel as a blocker for sure. Rule's a little less scary without Monstrous Rage, though, huh? Or removal here could be good. Another Scoundrel is pretty decent, actually. Third mountain. Or third land. Synchronized Charge. Hey, nice addition, opponent. I like that. Synchronized Charge is kind of crazy sometimes. I like this. And the Harmonize should be really easy for them too. So with Trample getting through, we might as well say that there might be a better chump in Scoundrel's future, and we just take the 4 here and we see what they do with the Scamp, right? Turn inside out on the Scamp, guys. I mean, it was getting the damage through regardless here, so now they are going to pop it for another 5 to our face, taking us down to 7. They even got the Proliferate on the Scout. Okay, all right, the opponent's rocking. The opponent's rocking it, dude. This is scary, scary business. Well, Carnosaur open. Do we just want to do it now? Probably. I'd like them to target, but if they have Snakeskin Veil in here, which with Scamp, it's probably going to be Snakeskin Veil, right? We should do it on our turn. Really tough decision though, huh? We'll see. Come on, Scamp. Get a good chump. Get a good chump block. Popping the Scout before they were... I mean, they could have played mana. Ooh, Slumbering Cerberus. They have a 1 mana Harmonize. This is freaking sick, dude. Another nice deck. Yes. Absolutely. Nice deck, Kupo. Synchronized Charge. Yeah, dude. We're in so much danger. Holy cow. I'm just going to pretend that Scoundrel might be able to chump something next turn. Wow. Okay, we can do some deck thinning now with Fable. And see, this is one where now we're missing the Zombify instead of the 4th mana. And so things lining up is pretty hard sometimes. So we get another chump blocker down with Scoundrel. I'm not convinced we're going to even be able to chump, guys. treasure tokens so we can play Carnosaur, and we'll see what we can get done. Oh, 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 ooh, no attacks. Almost clicked all attack. I guess it gives you a chance to take it back, though. Cerberus still tapped, luckily. Yeah, I think we might just die. Actor! Oh. The opponent's deck list is so cool, guys. Holy cow. Wild ride for some haste on the Cactuar. Holy cow, dude. All right, well, we'll try. We pop the Cactuar. We chump. Get the good game ready? No, okay, so no Dreadmaw. They untapped the Cerberus since a creature died. We're missing mana, guys. Uh-oh. Lindblum is open for the turn. Again, we might not have the chumps. This is going to be pretty tough to make a comeback. Also, their deck list might just run burn. They could just top deck a lightning strike or something. That's possible too. They go... Oh, Alchemist. That's a great way to give trample. So that'll push the damage through for sure. Oh, wow. The opponent's just playing all the cool cards, man. Really nice. One turn short from an Odin. Even if Odin came down on the board, there's just no guarantee that we would have been able to get there, huh? Good game, opponent. Very good game. I mean, we were struggling, but very nice showcase of your deck list. All right, let's call it there. Let's go talk about this one. Really had a hard time today actually having the puzzle pieces come together. But I don't know if that's just how Magic is sometimes, or if that's actually the deck list fault and how we ended up putting the curve together over on stream as well. So one big thing here is come back wrong. As a 4-of, this was the main build around with Enduring Courage, and that whole concept is so neat, guys. It's so cool to just have this idea of, we're going to take your card. It's dead now, by the way. We're taking it, and we're going to swing with it, and then it dies again. And there's a lot of, like, not only ETB creatures, because everyone's playing something that when it enters, you actually benefit from it, because that's kind of important sometimes with all the removal floating about, right? But number 2, there's creatures that care about dying as well. So when they die, you get some benefits out of it too. So between Come Back Wrong and Enduring Courage, just in general, that concept alone, really cool. And you don't even need it to be in a Reanimator shell for it to be neat, right? But we landed on Reanimator because when you don't have something of the opponent's to pop, then there might be moments where you pop your own things too. So the Ardyn, the Usurper, is kind of crazy, dude. Kind of crazy. You could see why people are playing a lot of this. You want to keep your eye on Ardyn for sure. I mean, we opted for Ardyn over Vel'Gavoth. That says something. Honestly, though, Vel'Gavoth probably should have just made the cut because that would have been great lifelink in a lot of those games. Lifelink in general going to be excellent. So you're trying to find the split of how do we get the top end into the grave, and actually the split between top end, because there's going to be moments where you only see your early game and you're just discarding, and then you eventually find the top end, but now you have no way to discard it to the grave. That's where Trumpeting Carnosaur comes in. At least it discards itself. And there's going to be a lot of games too where the game comes down to your fourth turn actually being a Zombify for the Carnosaur. Other words, you die. Even with the bans, even with Hyper Aggro getting absolutely obliterated, right? Getting rid of Heartfire Hero and Monstrous Rage and Quarry Steelcutter, that really takes a hit to all those Hyper Aggro deck lists. Even with that, you're still going to be sweating on your 4th turn very often against a lot of different style of deck lists. Even when it's not Hyper Aggro, maybe the opponent went first and their turn 4 looked like a successful Zombify, only they Zombified in a Traxa or something, right? So at that point, you're really hoping you have Come Back Wrong in hand, right? That's a Traxa's a pretty good one to hit on the Come Back Wrong. So there's a lot of things in those matches that we just didn't get to showcase based on the games and the what the opponents were bringing to the table. We don't really know where the meta is going to settle, guys. Put it on the do not craft list for sure. It is very expensive. Let's do some rearranging here. Rare, 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 mythic. Oh, I'm trying to put them in different piles here. Rare, mythic, rare, mythic, rare. Push and pull. Ah, uncommon. Nice. Don't even get me started on the mana base, dude. Midgar, rare. Lindblum, rare. Verge, of course. Theater. And Gorge, there you go. There's a common. There we go, guys. Okay, rare on Vents and Passage. Luckily, you can play the mana in other deck lists too. And remember, guys, I said this deck list was completely rotation proof as well. Actually, look at that. We're in Alchemy. Alchemy already rotated. Oopsie daisies. Maybe that's why we were having a hard time. We gave ourselves some bad luck by having it in Alchemy. Actually, how I've been doing it, by the way, is you go to Alchemy, then you do Format Legal, and then when you switch back to Standard, you'll see that they don't have the bottom row here highlighted. All the packs that are actually rotating up to March of the Machine. Of course, you could just go through and manually select the ones that you want to build with too, but still, I thought I'd show that to you guys. Anyways, it's funny that we were in Alchemy, because if we had something like Atali, which before rotation, Atali would be perfect for this deck list, man. But if you put Atali in here, and if you're really concerned about looking at rotation, since Alchemy already rotated, you can do that. And then you can see Atali is glowing red because it doesn't work in the format. So that's one way to look at it, I guess. I thought I'd show that to you guys for some reason. Anyways, drop the Atali, do some rearranging to get the deck list to actually look like it knows how to curve. There we go. Terror of the Peaks. Honestly, dude, I could see 4 Terror of the Peaks easily. And what would I drop? I would drop like a Vein Ripper and maybe a Push and Pull down to 1, 2. But you saw, like, it's so hard to find that split of things. Is 6 Reanimator pieces going to be enough at that point? Also, how many of those games did we actually get to 5 mana and actually have a turn after that? And if we played Terror of the Peaks on our 5th turn, would we have had a turn after that? Probably not, right? So it's really tough. The 2-of still makes sense. It's just one of those things too, where it's acting as a piece of our spot removal here on the top end. It's not actually spot removal, but you guys know what I mean. You're going to be targeting the opponent's creatures as you play other cards out of your hand and whatnot. And Primal Odin also acting as top end spot removal for sure, but we're kind of trying to cheat this out of the grave, whether it is with Ardyn. And by the way, Ardyn is also a way to reanimate. So dropping the Push and Pull, even though that's just 6 ways to bring things back, I guess Ardyn also counts, but you're probably wanting to bring back Ardyn rather than playing it as an 8 mana card. But you're also not going to be really upset if you do play it as an 8 mana card. So I don't know, man. And putting Vein Ripper on the chopping block feels a little funny. It's just like, it's one of those things where it's a 1-of, it's not 100% necessary. A Fire Crystal might not be 100% necessary either. So you could keep the Push and Pull, drop the Vein Ripper and the Fire Crystal, go up maybe a 3rd Terror. We could keep the 2. We could go up like a Fear of Missing Out and another early piece of spot removal too. I don't think you're going to be mad about early spot removal. With all the trading out, early game and whatnot, and Scoundrel trading out too, you'd think we'd be able to find our things a little bit more effectively. Yeah, that's where the second Fear of Missing Out would come in, I would say. And since we have so many different types in here, lands, enchantments, artifacts, sorceries, instants, creatures, of course, right? And then some of them are enchantment creatures too, along with the Fear. Delirium's not going to be unheard of on the Fear of Missing Out. I know Rakdos Reanimator's definitely going to be missing something after rotation when the Brothers War rotates. And you guys already know what it is, right? Because Bitter Reunion would have made the cut if it wasn't rotating, for sure. And then, hey, that's one of the budget cards. There's a common, beautiful. But it's gone. And we're going to miss it, for real. And you know what? When we were putting it together on stream, we were talking about it might be pretty cool to go like a max speed route Reanimator, because that gives us the option to have the kickoff celebrations, which is a very similar concept to Bitter Reunion, right? But yeah, if you guys are interested in a max speed Reanimator, let me know in the comments. I'll add it as a comment suggestion and try to bump it up the list too, depending on how many people are interested. But that could be really cool, right? Okay, guys, enough rambling, huh? If you made it this far into the video for real, y'all are champions. Let me know what you would add or take out down in the comments. And also, let me know, do you guys think this deck list deserved as many tough uphill battles as it actually was? Or do you think we got a little unlucky? I'm kind of on the fence about it. I think it really is either or maybe a little bit of both, too. So, yeah, maybe there's something we could work on with the curve. And the 2 cards over here, the one-ofs, probably unnecessary. We probably want that second fear of missing out and more ways to survive early on too. So, all right, guys. Hey, I will see you in the next video.